Today I'm going to read chapters 1 through 4 in the book Focused by Allison Gerber. This will be your first assignment for book club. So come up with a think note while you're reading, while you're listening, maybe something that you're thinking about or that it reminds you of. Look at the think sheet to help you get some ideas, okay? Chapter 1. I have 45 minutes to finish 5 math word problems. Shower, get ready for school, and eat. I should have done all my homework last night like probably everyone else in my class did. But the word problems this year, are a lot harder than the ones we had to do last year. And I guess I thought that when I woke up this morning, the question would be easier and less like blobs of letters that make 0 sense. I was wrong. They're still impossible. And even though I'm the worst at math, I know that if I hand in 5 out of 10 answers, my best case grade is a 50. In other words, an F. I can't let that happen. My phone is buzzing. I'm pretty sure it's red since he's the only one who ever texts me. I scan the room, bed, dresser, side table, floor. It's not here. Unless it's under the pile of clean clothes Mom asked me to fold and put away yesterday. But that doesn't even make sense. My phone is my alarm, so I had a few minutes ago when it woke me up. It must have fallen off the table. I hang off the side of my bed and look. Whew, I pick it up, flip it over, and put it down next to me. I don't read the text. I can't let Red's message distract me from my homework. He'll totally get it when I tell him what happened. I mean, we're best friends, so he knows how my life will be ruined if I fail. I sit up and read the first word problem. 3 friends, Jane, John, and Joe, are dividing up the proceeds from their local lemonade stand. My stomach grumbles. I'm pretty hungry. Maybe I should shower, eat, and then do my homework. A toasted English muffin with melty peanut butter on one side and Nutella on the other might help me concentrate. Plus, it would only take me 15 minutes, and then I'll still have 30 to finish math. Done. Great plan. I shower as fast as I can, cover up my new forehead zit, gloss my lips, and throw on a light blue dress. Because even though it makes me look like I'm trying too hard, a dress is an Insta outfit, and the clock is ticking. I don't have time to coordinate tops and bottoms right now. I need to make breakfast and get back to work. I grab my textbook and run out of my bedroom and down the hall 3 minutes earlier than I'd planned. Winning! I'm rushing down the stairs and flipping back to the page about Jane, John, and Joe so I can read while I toast. When my foot slides and slips out from under me, I grab for the railing, but I miss and fall backward, landing on the stairs. What's wrong with me? Clea, are you okay? Mom asked, rushing over. I don't know. My voice sounds small and far away. Mom helps me up, and once I'm standing, everything in my body feels weird and shocked and stiff. She bends down to pick up my textbook, wraps her arm around me, and leads me into the kitchen. We sit down at the table, and she looks at me like she's really worried. I know we've talked about this before, but you need to slow down and take your time, sweetheart. If you try to do everything at once, you're going to end up getting really hurt. I want to scream because I already know falling and not finishing my homework is my fault, and none of this would have happened if I weren't so stupid and forgetful. But I don't want Mom to know about the word problem, so I nod and let her rub my back for a little longer. Henley walks into the room, puts her granola bar on the table in front of me, and grabs onto my arm. She's in the same purple overalls she's been wearing every day for 2 weeks, ever since she turned 6.5 and decided she was old enough to be in charge of picking her own outfits. You scared me, she said, only she can't actually say the word scared, so it comes out something like scared. I'm okay, I assure her. Promise. She looks up at me with her big blue eyes, checking to be sure I'm telling the truth. I smile at her, unwrap the granola bar, and take a bite. Because even though I know being hungry isn't the reason I fell, I don't want my sister to think about me for another second when she already has so many other things to worry about. Like speaking up in school and enunciating her words and all the things that are hard for her. If I can help it, at least one of us is going to have a good day. When I get to school, Red's waiting at our bench. As soon as I see him, I remember my phone. It's still in my room, and I never checked his message. Ugh, stupid. He starts talking before I even get there. So, are we not best friends anymore? Because I'm pretty sure even sort of friends don't straight up ignore each other's texts. I'm sorry, we're definitely BFFs. I say, I'm the worst. I really needed you to answer. He sounds annoyed. I won't do it again. I look at him when I say it because I want him to know that I'm serious. I was trying to finish my math homework, which I didn't do, and then I forgot my phone in my room. I'll write back next time, I promise. Okay, he nods. Thanks. What'd you say in the text, I ask? That I hate my dad and now I have to talk every other day because a lawyer says he deserves more quality time. Maybe he should have thought that before he moved across the country. That's not okay, I say. Yeah, not really. He looks down at his sneakers. I wish there was something I could say to make it better, but I can't think of anything that'll actually help. What are you going to do about math, he asks. I shake my head. No clue. I mean, I have it first period. Suggestions, welcome. Don't save your math homework for the morning, he grins, because that's really helpful right now. You'll figure it out, he says. You always do. He has no idea how wrong he is. I look around Miss Pumi's room for the folded piece of paper that says Clea Adams. She moves the name tags every single class so we can always learn from a new perspective. I'd rather just sit in the same place. I got my name and walk over to my assigned seat for the day, which is at the far corner of the room next to Dylan. Lucky me, not. He grunts a little when I sit down like I'm bothering him, when he's the one who smells like ocean waves or some other gross boy-scented body mist that's making it hard for me to think about anything else. I should take out my notebook, but I don't want to look at my half-finished worksheet now, or ever. I still don't have a plan, and I'm starting to get scared. I can't get a bad grade on anything, or I won't be allowed on the chess team. Chess is a special elective in our school, which means we practice during the day twice a week and after school once a week. If your grades aren't good enough, you have to go to extra study hall instead. I need to make sure that doesn't happen since my chess is my #1 favorite thing in the entire world. Maybe Miss Pumi will be excited about teaching fractions that she'll magically forget to collect her homework. Then it'll be like this whole horrible blip of a morning never happened. Miss Pumi claps. I'd like to start out by reviewing the homework from last night as a class. We'll go through each of the 10 problems together. Could I have volunteers to show their work on the board? I raise my hand. This is my chance, A, to participate, and B, prove that I did the homework. I just need to be one of the first 5 people picked because I don't have the answers for the second half of the problems. Miss Pumi scans the room looking at all the hands. Jason, 1. I reach up even higher and sort of wave my fingers around in the air a little in case she didn't see me before. But her eyes passed right by me. Anna, 2. Oh, don't freak out. It's not over yet. There are still 3 more chances. Don't freak out. I stretch my arm up as high as it'll go and look right at Miss Pumi because eye contact usually works in these situations. She glances back at me and I'm pretty sure she's about to say my name. I hold my breath and cross my fingers. Please, Dylan, why don't you answer number 3? No. Dylan really doesn't need to answer another chance to show off. He's already such a bragger. We all get it. Math is so easy for him. Angela, go ahead and start at number 4. And she pauses. Pick me, please. Pick me, I blurted out before I can stop the words from falling out of my mouth. What's wrong with me? You need to wait until you're called on, Miss Pumi chides. I hear someone giggle. I put my hand down and sink into my chair. Miss Pumi calls on a few other students, but I'm not listening. I keep my eyes glued to the floor and replay what I just did over in my mind until I hear, Clea, why don't you come up and show us the answer to the last problem? I look at her and shake my head. I'd like you to solve number 10, Miss Pumi says, and I can tell by her tone she's not asking me this time. Everyone's staring again. Their eyes are burning into me, like they're all waiting for me to get up and figure it out already, instead of sitting here like a dummy. I pick up my textbook and walk over to the board. I need to figure this out fast. Joanna enters a baking contest in her town and wins $350 grand prize. If she spent $20.35 on ingredients, $9.27 on equipment, and $3.29 on marketing materials, what percentage profit did she make on her big win? I'm pretty sure I need to add, subtract, and divide, but maybe that's wrong. I don't even know and I'm running out of time. Is everything okay? Miss Pumi asks. Yeah, I squeak. Stop messing up. Just focus. Pull it together. She can't know you didn't do your homework. I start writing the numbers on the board because I definitely can't add them up in my head. Mental math is impossible for me. I don't get how people can do it. I can barely remember the numbers as I'm writing them down. I have to keep looking back at the book so I don't get them all wrong. I add 5, 7, and 9 and then carry the 2. When Miss Pumi says, That's enough. Can someone who did the homework please come up to the board? I can't breathe. There's not enough air in the room. Ooh, someone says. Everyone laughs. Don't do that, Miss Pumi shoots them down. But it doesn't change the fact that they all know there's something wrong with me, and now I'm definitely getting an F on the homework. No matter what I do, chess is going to get taken away. By the time I get to Spanish, almost every seat is taken. We're allowed to sit wherever we want, which is one of the many reasons Spanish is my favorite subject. But today, picking out our own seats doesn't seem so great, because even though I can tell that it's a front row by the window kind of day, the only desk is smack in the middle of the room. As soon as I slide into the chair, I feel cramped. Buenos dias, estudiantes, Senora Campos says, making her grand entrance in a black and white striped skirt and bright red sweater. I love when she talks to us in Espanol, like she knows we can handle it. Makes me feel like I can, and also like I'm being transported to Madrid, where word problems don't matter and my back and butt aren't sore from the fall. I want to get a sense of all the wonderful things you remember from our lessons, so we're going to spend this period taking a pop quiz. I'd like you to think of this as an opportunity for us to check in and see where you are and where you need to be. She looks around the room and smiles at each of us. Please take one and pass it on. Before I even have a quiz, everyone around me is churning out answers and making me nervous. Lily hands me a stack of papers. I put one on my desk and turn to pass the rest of the pile on, but somehow everyone behind me has already started working. So I give the quizzes to Hunter, who's sitting next to me. Then I write my name and read the first question. You're on a vacation with your family and decide to rent bicycles to explore the sights. The staple in the top corner is breaking apart, barely able to hold the pages together. Because there are so many of them. I flip to the end and look at the number 10. This isn't a pop quiz, it's totally a pop test. I glance at the clock, only 30 minutes left, and I haven't done anything. I need to focus. Write 3 sentences describing your bike ride through the city. What city? Any city? Did I miss that in the directions? I read them again, but it just says vacation. I don't have time to go up and ask Miss Senora Campo. Plus, I don't want her to know I haven't even started. My stomach grumbles. I really hope there's pizza at lunch. Hunter's chewing on his eraser and breathing hard, like he's running a marathon. And I guess this is kind of like the marathon of pop quizzes, but still, he needs to stop. It's impossible for me to think about anything else. It also doesn't help that I can't remember the Spanish word for bicycle. I should move on to the next question. This is such a waste of time. There are pencils everywhere, and they're so loud. Lily is shaking out her hand like it's tired from all the writing she's been doing. Well, I've been sitting here doing I don't even know what. Nothing. I can't fail a quiz in my very best subject. Bicicleta. Duh. The bell rings. Everyone gets up except for me. I don't want Senora Campo to think the only thing I remember in Spanish is my name. The whole class clears out of the room. I make a move to go, but I guess I lose track of my own leaving because Senora Campo walks over and sits down next to me. I'm going to be late for chess. Is everything okay, Cleo? She asks. I don't know. I mean, it's not, and I want to tell her, but I have no idea what to say or where to start. Hunter is a heavy breather. People need to turn down the volume on their pencils. My brain got stuck on question 1. I sat here being mad at myself. It's like out of nowhere the time disappeared on me, and I'm not sure where it went. Senora Campo picks up my test and flips through the first few pages. They're all blank. I know you sometimes need a few extra minutes to finish up, but she stops herself and sighs. The loud kind that echoes off the walls and back at me. It's the worst sound I've ever heard because now I know for sure that she's disappointed. I don't know what to say or do to go back when she thought I was smart and good in Spanish and could handle anything. It stings behind my eyes. I know the answers, I tell her. Really, I do. Because even though I didn't actually have a chance to write all the questions, I still think that could be true. And now I'm worried about my grade and chess and all the things I'm going to lose if this is really happening. She nods. I'm sure you do. I don't want you to be late for the next period. But what about the quiz, I ask? We'll see, she says. I know that's not really good. Chapter 2. The hallway is empty. It's quiet, except for muffled teacher voices, reminding me the next period has already started and I'm late for chess when I can't be. Today is the first game of the year and my chance to prove I'm ready to be one of the 12 people who gets picked to play in tournaments and help our team win the championship. I sprint across the hall, down the stairs, and over to the multi-purpose room. How can I let this happen? I'm such an idiot. I can't do anything right. I should have asked Senora Campo if we could talk about the quiz at recess or lunch or any time other than during chess. Or better yet, I could have just not messed up. All I needed to do was finish the questions, like everyone else in my entire class who isn't an idiot. By the time I get to chess, I feel like I might puke. I think about turning around and going to the nurse and giving up on this stupid day. I wouldn't even have to lie about being sick to my stomach, because I am. Even though I'm scared of getting in trouble for being dumb and late, I know playing chess is the only thing that will make me feel better right now. I take a deep breath, push open the creaky door, and walk into the room as quietly as I can, trying not to draw attention to myself. I feel everyone's eyes on me as I look around for my place at the long tables lined with chessboards and clocks. Every seat is taken except for the one across from Sanam, the best player on our team. That's not official or anything, but it's obvious that Sanam and Red are better than everyone else. Great. Just great. I'm in trouble. Sanam doesn't glance up at me when I sit down. Her big brown eyes stay glued to the pieces, like she isn't going to let anything get in the way of winning. She looks like a chess queen perched in front of the board, wearing a denim shirt and tiny gold studs. It's impossible to tell how small and slight she really is. Layla is sitting next to me, biting her fingernails and making loud slurping noises. She needs to stop chewing so I can pay attention to Mr. Lee. I keep waiting for Sanam to say something to Layla, but Sanam's still staring at the board between us, like she's too busy thinking about her opening to notice, which is another thing I should be doing. There's a pink hair elastic strangling on my wrist. I take it off, spin it around my fingers, and look at the pieces in front of me. I need a strong start if I'm going to win. Only I can't think about anything other than the human garbage disposal sitting next to me. Can you stop biting your nails, I mutter. Layla glares at me. What's your problem? Nothing, I whisper. You're just so loud. She rolls her eyes. Everyone needs to be listening to what I'm saying right now, not talking. Is that clear? Mr. Lee looks at me. I nod and swallow hard. Everyone's staring at me like they know I have a defect that makes it impossible for me not to mess up. Mr. Lee tucks his hands into his pockets and walks across the room. We all want to win the championship this year, and your performance in practice is a big part of how I'll decide who will be competing. We have the 5 regular season tournaments starting next Saturday. I expect all of you to be present and prepared to play. And you have to actually show up on time, Clea, Dylan says under his breath, but loud enough so everyone around us can hear. He leans back in his chair, pushing the front legs off the ground. My face and neck feel hot, and I'm pretty sure I'm turning red, but I don't say anything back to him, because I don't want him to ask why I was late. I need to figure out the quiz so I can play my best and win. Any questions before we start? Mr. Lee asks. No hands go up. Okay, get to work, he says to everyone, and then he walks over to me. Let's chat for a minute. I stand and follow him away from the tables. My heart is beating hard inside my chest. I read the secret t-shirt he's wearing under his thin plaid button-down. Death Cab for Cutie. I think it's a band that's really good. All the t-shirts he wears have music or plays or books on them. They're kind of hard to see hidden under his teacher clothes, but I usually find a way. I think it's the second coolest part about him. The coolest part is he's a national master, which is a really high ranking in chess. Our matches aren't officially rated because our middle school is in a league with other private schools where that isn't allowed, so I don't know where I stand exactly, but I'm aiming to be a national master in high school. Sorry I was late, I say before Mr. Lee has a chance to point it out. It won't happen again, I swear. I don't want him to think I'm full of excuses or bad at school and horrible at following rules, even though I really am. I had a tutor this summer, Chloe Louise. She tried to help me with reading comprehension and being organized, but it obviously didn't make a difference because I'm still the same. Clea, I want you to understand why you need to be on time for chess, Mr. Lee says. If I've selected you to play in a tournament and you're late for the first round, you might be forced to forfeit the game, and every point counts. Or I could decide to replace you with one of our alternates. Being picked to represent our team is an honor for top players who have shown they're serious about chess. I need to be able to trust that you're going to be there, or I won't be able to pick you to compete. Does that make sense? I nod. You can count on me, I say, because I want that to be true more than anything. Glad to hear it, he says and smiles. Like he understands there was a mistake and it's okay this one time, as long as it never happens again. When I sit back down, I hit the clock. Santam's playing white, which means she has the first move, but I get to start the game, and I'm ready. I don't need more time. I want to play chess so I can stop thinking about everything else. Santam slides the pawn in front of her king up 2 squares. She taps the clock and writes down the first move in her scorebook. It's a trap. A classic Sicilian setup. I memorized the top 10 chess traps of all time so I'd be able to use them in tournaments, but I never thought about what would happen if someone tried to corner me. Now my time's ticking away and I'm not sure what to do. I don't mirror Santam's move because that feels really right, and traps play on instincts, which means it can't be a good decision. Instead, I move my pawn on the queen's side, up 2 squares, tap the clock, and write down what I did. Move, let go, tap, write. I hum the words in my head as a way to sing them into my memory. I need to remember all the steps if I'm going to win. Mr. Lee treats every match like a tournament where we're disqualified if we don't keep a record of the game. He wants everything about playing chess to be second nature. Santam's forehead folds up, and I'm pretty sure she was expecting something else from me because she doesn't do anything for almost a minute. It's weird to watch her stall. She clears her throat, taps her perfectly painted yellow fingernails on the table, and glances at the clock. She takes a deep breath and develops her knight. Up 2 squares over 1, clop, clop, clop. I move my pawn. Santam moves her pawn. Once I get into the rhythm, all I see are answers everywhere. There are patterns on the board that make it clear where each piece is supposed to go next, like a bunch of connected mazes that all lead to one place. The enemy king. My heart beats faster. I can't stop tapping my toes. I'm stuck in a word-proof, soundproof, everything-proof tunnel. All that matters are the pieces in front of me. I started playing chess last year. It was Red's idea. He thought I'd be a natural. We'd never been in the same class except for homeroom, which doesn't count because there are no grades or assignments or homework. I've told him about all the problems I had in school last year, and he still thinks I'm smart like he is. I want to argue with him about that, but he won't let me. The reason I say yes to joining the chess team in the first place was last year was hard/bad for Red. His parents got divorced, and his dad moved to a fancy faraway ski town in Colorado with his girlfriend Barb, a.k.a. Barf, and I wanted to be a good friend. At first, I thought chess would be boring and way too hard for me like math. But once I started playing, I realized it was actually fun. But sort of like a video game and a puzzle and tennis, all put together, except so much better. My next move against Santam is obvious. Take her pawn out with my pawn. And for a second, it seems too good to be true. I stop myself and think through the possibilities to make sure I'm not being trapped into something that might appear like an awesome idea now, but then isn't. Once I've played through the next few steps in my mind and I'm confident, I let go of my piece. Santam uses her knight to take out my pawn. Good, I was counting on that. I move my knight and tap the clock. When I look up, Santam is placing her knight down. I move my other knight out because I think I can win this way. I know I can. A few people on the team are whispering behind me, so I don't look up. I'm too busy thinking about the board and Santam and making the right move. Santam captures another one of my pieces and taps the clock without realizing that she's left my rook on an empty file with direct access to her king. I slide my rook in a straight line across the board. Checkmate! I did it! I won! Woohoo! Red shouts. I look up and he's standing there grinning at me. There are fireworks going off in my brain, green and red, blue and yellow. I reach out to shake Santam's hand. Good game. My words sound happy, like they're bouncing off a trampoline and flying around in the air. She shakes my hand back and doesn't say anything. She gives her score sheet to Mr. Lee as fast as she can, like she can't wait to get rid of it. You dominated that game, Red says. You should have seen Santam's opening. I dodged a serious trap. He put up his hand and I high-fived him. Nice job, Clea. Mr. Lee pats my back. I can tell you've put in a lot of time. It's paying off. Keep up the hard work. I can't stop smiling because I won, and Mr. Lee noticed that I'm even better than before. For a few minutes, I'm floating on a cloud of victory until I remember everything else that happened today. After school, I sit outside on the curb by the main pickup area and wait for Mom. There are no other students left. It's just me. Some of the teachers are starting to leave. Mom was supposed to be here 30 minutes ago, which means I should be doing my homework right now. Even though I'm the one who made up the rule that I have to get started by 4 p.m., it still feels like I'm behind. And after today, I need to find a way to make sure that never happens again. I drop my bag and start pacing until Mom finally pulls up at 4:05 p.m. Sorry I'm so late, she says when I open the car door. I'm sorry too, Henley speaks from the back seat. Miss B had a special surprise for Mommy. Really? I turned around to face her. What was it? Her dirty blonde hair is sticking out in every direction and her cheeks are red and splotchy. like she's been running around outside on a snowy day. Henley is all dimples and soft, sweet features. I'm hard lines and lots of reddish hair. Chocolate gummy bears, Henley smiles with her whole face. I saved one. She holds out a mushy chocolate-covered hand. Thank you, I smile and pop her present into my mouth. She looks out the window and lets her legs swing side to side. I love speech, she says softly, to no one in particular. It's more like a quiet announcement. Henley's my favorite person on earth. She makes me almost forget that I'm mad at Mom for being late. Henley has a hard time hearing and speaking up and pronouncing words. It sounds like some of her letters get caught in a warm, sticky pot of caramel. They're gooey and garbled and coated in sweetness. Her speech therapist, Miss B, for Blumenthal, told Mom that she has to practice using her own voice more. She said I make that hard. I guess it's because Henley doesn't have to say very much to me. She can point and make a face, and I pretty much always know exactly what she wants. I didn't realize the whole special sister mind reading thing was hurting her, so I would have never done it in the first place. Henley, as soon as we get home, you're going straight to the tub, Mom says. No bath, she shouts. I want to play with Clea. I have to do homework, but we can play chess or whatever else you want this weekend, I say. Promise. Chess, teach me, she says, forgetting about her bath. Can you, me and Hilda play together? Duh, I say. We'd never leave Hilda out. It doesn't matter that Hilda's our dog and can't play chess. Henley doesn't like to exclude anyone. Duh, Henley imitates me. Thank you, Mom mouths to me. I shrug. I don't like it when she thanks me for being nice to my sister like it's a chore, when it's not. Once we get home, I go straight upstairs to my room and turn on the Thunderstorm soundtrack Chloe Louise gave me. It's supposed to make homework easier. So far, all it does is make me feel like it's raining. But apparently, I need to be patient and give it a chance because any minute now it's going to start helping. Hilda scurries into my room and jumps onto my bed, digging and circling 3 times before she finally gives in and folds herself into a tiny black fluff ball. That's been our thing for the last 3 months, ever since Mom let me visit the rescue dogs at the MSPCA. I wanted to adopt every single dog in the entire place because I love animals, but Mom flat out rejected that idea and said I had to pick one. As soon as I saw Hilda, I knew she belonged to our family. My first choice to rename Hilda was Pumpernickel because her fur reminds me of pumpernickel bread, which is my favorite, even if Red thinks it's disgusting. But I feel like coming into a new home with a new family would be a lot of changing at once, and Hilda might want to keep her old name since it was all that was left from the past. Homework. I have to do homework, although first I have to put on more comfortable clothes. Then I sit down on the floor and look through my planner because starting right now, I'm going to be super organized and prepared and on top of everything. I take out Spanish and math. I need to finish both assignments before dinner, and then after I eat, I'll do history and science and practice my author presentation for Mr. Lee's English class until it's perfect. My phone's buzzing somewhere. It's not next to me or my pocket. I check my backpack, and then I stand up and look all around my room, but I can't find it. Oh, seriously, where did I leave it this time? I know it's probably Red calling me, and I can't flake out on him again. I promised I wouldn't, so I need to find my phone now before he stops believing me. I open my closet. The dress I wore all day's on the floor. I kick it away, but my phone isn't there. That's when I remember I didn't have it at school. It's still on my bed where I left it this morning. I grab it and call Red back. I hate waiting for my dad to call, Red says as soon as he picks up. He's always late, and I don't need to be reminded that he doesn't care about me. He moved to Colorado, so that's pretty clear. I'm sorry, I say. The worst part is I was actually excited to tell him about chess, and now I'm just mad that he's late. I sit back down on the floor next to my backpack. That really stinks. Yeah, it does. Can you stay on the phone till he calls? Of course, I say, because I'm glad there's something I can do to help. It may be kind of a while. Last time I waited 48 minutes. I'm not hanging up, I say. Thanks, he says, taking a deep breath like he's relieved. It's already 5:06 p.m. I glance down at the blank worksheet in front of me, but I need to do homework while we wait. I have kind of a lot. Me too, he says. There's so much more this year. You think so too? I thought it was just me. No way. 7th grade's a lot harder. It feels good to hear him say that. Like we're the same, and maybe if I work hard from now on, I could fix my grades and still play chess. I put my phone on speaker so I don't have to hold it up to my ear while I start Spanish. Cleo, why is it raining in your room? He asks. Oh, I forgot that was on. It's supposed to help me concentrate or whatever. Does it? Yeah, I say, because that's what I want the answer to be. Cool. I open my textbook. Imagine you can see into the future of a famous person you admire. I point to each word and try to black out the sound of Red breathing into the phone. Write at least 5 sentences in Spanish explaining what would happen to this person tomorrow morning afternoon and night. I make it to the end of the directions, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. The words don't sink in. They fall away and disappear like raindrops off a thick plastic coat. I close my eyes and try to let the stormy sound help me focus. I need to finish something before dinner, only Red's still breathing loudly, and Mom's rummaging around in the kitchen, banging pots and pans together and talking to herself or Henley or someone on the phone. I want to turn off all these noises because it's almost time to eat and I haven't done anything. He's calling, Red says. I want it to be normal like before. Well, maybe act like it is and it will be. Okay, it can't hurt, he says. Thanks for being the same. No problem, I say, even though right now I really wish I could be different. Clea, Mom shouts. I put my pencil down on the blank piece of paper in front of me, shut off the thunderstorm, and walk out of my room. Downstairs it smells like butter and sauteed vegetables, and I know right away Mom made the #1 best dinner of all time, pasta primavera and homemade spaghetti and vegetarian Caesar salad. Yes! Henley's dancing in the middle of the kitchen. Clea's favorite. It's your favorite! She points both fingers at me and bounces to her own beat. You know it, I say, pointing back at her. Mom's standing next to the stove, stirring sauce and balancing the phone between her ear and shoulder. She isn't saying anything except, totally, I get that, which means she's probably listening to Mel, her roommate from where she lived in New York City. Mom looks up, smiles at me, and points to the empty table. We're on it, I say. Hey, Munchkin, help me set things up. I wave Henley over. Don't call me that unless you're thinking about a jelly one. I hate chocolate glazed. Since when? I was born, she says, hands on her hips. Get over here, Jelly Munchkin. She smiles and follows my lead. I hand her the forks and napkins and carry the plates and knives, and we set the table together. Dad, Henley shouts as soon as he walks into the kitchen. Kiddo, he says, trying to match her enthusiasm, which is impossible for any human. He hugs her and then me. It smells great. He takes off his tie, kisses Mom hello, then reaches over her shoulder and grabs a piece of pasta and drops it into his mouth without getting any butter on his blue suit. You too, Mom says into the phone and hangs up. She turns around and looks at us. Thank you, girls, for setting the table. Henley smiles so big her eyes squeeze together. Mom tucks her wavy brown hair behind her ears. She picks up the salad and pasta and puts both in the middle of the table, then tells us about her day. How was everyone else's day? Dad asks after we've had a chance to eat. He glances at each of us, waiting for an update. I look into my lap to avoid answering. Loose tooth. Henry opens her mouth wide and wiggles on the one on the bottom. It's hanging by a thread. Henley, do you remember what we talked about earlier today, Mom asks. She nods her head up and down. I have a loose tooth. Her voice is soft. I can barely hear her. That's very exciting, Dad says. I guess it's almost time for the tooth fairy. Mom and I both scowl at him. Henry shakes her head and tries as hard as she can to push back her tears, but they trickle down her chipmunk cheeks. I don't want that. I know, Mom rubs her shoulder softly. That's why I got you a bag to hang on your door. It looks like a pillow and it says special delivery for the tooth fairy only. Henley nods like she remembers. Sorry, Dad mouths to Mom. I can't tell if he forgot or if he just didn't know. Rob rubs his back with her free hand, which is what she does when she wants us to know that everything's okay, even when it's not. Dad's away a lot. His job is to buy and fix companies. He's the best problem solver around, which means every few weeks he's off to a new country or state. But he's always back on Thursday. That's something we can all count on. When he gets home, he tries hard to catch up on everything he missed. But it's impossible because things happen. Little things that are so small, they slip away when you aren't looking. And they're the kind of things that don't seem like they even matter until they do. When you add them all up, they matter a lot. How was school, Dad asks. It's quiet for a few seconds. I take a big bite of my primavera, then another. Like I'm so hungry I didn't hear the question. Henley takes a deep breath. We're going to a farm with chicks and cows and pigs. Sounds like she's racing to get the words out. Like she's afraid if she doesn't, they might disappear. There's a fly on the ceiling circling us, waiting for the best moment to swoop in and join the party. In my head, his name is Floyd. That sounds fun, Dad says. Henley nods. What about you? He looks at me. Floyd lands on the salad bowl. I shoo him away and watch him fly as fast as he can over to the window where I can't see him anymore. Clea, how'd things go today? Dad asks again. I beat Sam in chess, I say, because that's the only part of my day I want to talk about. She's the best player on our team. That's great. What about school? He asks, glossing over my win like it hardly matters. It's actually a really big deal, I say. I dominated. Red even said so. Dad looks at Mom. I can tell they're trading secret adult messages. Floyd's buzzing around again. That stupid fly. Dad swats and misses. Then he stands up and opens the sliding door so Floyd can escape. I wish I could join him. I'd much rather fly around outside and hide in the backyard until this conversation is over. Stupid, 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 Henley repeats and slurps up the last of her spaghetti. Are you finished eating, Mom asks her. She nods a lot like she's a human bobblehead. Then you may be excused. Henley gets up, pushes in her chair, and curtsies. Did you see? She asks. Very nice, Dad says. We're all quiet while she makes her way into the other room. Hilda stays sprawled out on the top of my feet. Mom looks at me and puts down her fork. I don't know what's coming, but I can tell it's bad because she waits for Henley to turn on one of her shows before she says, Miss Pumi called. Why? I asked. What'd she say? She's worried about you. She said you came to class unprepared. You didn't do your homework. Is that true? I stare into my plate, diving deep into this world of spaghetti and zucchini. It sounds a lot worse when Mom said it out loud. You're not in trouble, Dad says, and Miss Puni isn't going to count this grade as long as you do all your work from now on. Really? I ask. Dad nods. We want to know what happened. I shrug. I messed up, then I tried to fix it and I made it worse. Do you think maybe being on the chess team is too much for you right now, Mom asks. No, I shout. How is it even related? I saw you practicing chess last night, so I thought that was maybe why you didn't have time to finish math. It's a lot for anyone to take on. I know you love chess, but school has to come first. It does, I say. It won't happen again. Okay, Mom nods. She's trying to believe me, but doesn't. Not really. You can keep playing for now, as long as you come up with a better plan, because what you've been doing isn't working. You have to finish all your homework at home. I nod because I want to do everything, Mom's saying, and I don't know what's wrong with me, and I can't. After dinner, I go back up to my room and start my homework again. I can't give my parents one more reason to take chess away from me, especially since they don't even know what happened in Spanish yet. Only the lights in the ceiling are buzzing like there's a bee stuck inside, and I keep looking up and then at the clock instead of reading the questions in front of me. I need to stop messing up now. I still have math and history and science in my author project, and I'm running out of time. It's already 6:46 p.m., which is almost 7 p.m. I wish the clock would stop, even for a few minutes, because I have so much left to do. It's all piling up, and it feels like I can't breathe. I close my book and take out my English presentation, because I already did the work, and now the only thing I have left is to practice. I'm standing in the middle of my bedroom, holding up my poster and talking to my imaginary audience, when Henley walks into my room in her sassy pajamas. She runs over and hugs the side of my arm, squeezing with all her strength, and knows I need something, and she's trying in her own way to make sure I get it. Hilda's sleeping in here. She likes your room better, I say. We shall. Not tonight. I want to say yes, but I know Henley needs Hilda more than I do, and not because of the tooth fairy. See, a few weeks ago I heard Henley tell Hilda that she's supposed to be talking out loud more at school, and she thinks it might be easier for her to do that if they practice together before bed. I don't want to take that away from her. Henley kisses me on the cheek and then skips over to the door. Good night, I say. I finish practicing my presentation and plod through my homework. When Mom knocks a few hours later, she's wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants with her hair pulled back like she's ready for bed. I look at my phone. It's 9 o'clock and I still have so much to do. How's everything going, Mom asks, standing in the doorway. Almost done, I say, because I know that's the right answer. That's great. Do you need Dad or me to help you with anything? I shake my head. No, thanks. I will, I say. Good night. Okay, get some rest. I will, I say. Good night. As soon as Mom walks away, I stand up, turn my desk lamp on and the ceiling lights off, and close the door to my bedroom. In case Mom decides to check on me again, I use an old sweatshirt to cover the small crack between the bottom of the door and the rug so the light doesn't shine into the hall. By the time I finally finish my homework and climb under the covers, it's really late. I'm tired and out of it. I set my alarm and stare at the ceiling, but I can't fall asleep. I don't even know how long I try before I give up and turn on the episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which was one of my favorite shows. Red and I both love anything with witches and wacky plots. I guess we both like the idea of having magical powers to fix our problems. That was chapter 1 and 2. See the next video for chapters 3 and 4.